Go take a look at that. That's what's showing up. Guess what's number one? The economy, the economy, the economy.
But look at number. So the woman column, though, like I'm saying, last time, what was it? 60,000 votes ultimately swung the election. The time before that, 40,000 votes. So even if 1% of women are under the belief that there's going to be a federal abortion ban because they're spinning that narrative, like I think that's a big deal. And I just think he could have done better making the case like, no, we'll never have a federal abortion ban. That's crazy. It's just a left-wing narrative they're trying to push to freak you guys out.
I think what's even more devastating, though, is you take a look at the candidate difference for the Hispanic vote now.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has run right past 25%, and I think he's at 34 right now.
Yeah.
34% of the Hispanic vote. That doesn't work. You know, those voting blocks that were taken for granted and not served as citizens, just treated as cheap voting blocks by the Democratic Party. Sorry. They are thinking for themselves and backing out of it. And African-American males, 25 to 40, have moved 12 points this election. You know, more than what Trump had in 2020, which was more than what he had in 2016. So what is happening here is you are seeing it all come together. There is only, this election will probably be decided or almost decided by 11 o'clock on November 5th. And it's because when Pennsylvania crosses 60% of precincts with a meaningful amount of Philadelphia, which is much bigger than Pittsburgh, when North Carolina is callable as Raleigh-Durham and Charlotte come in, the metros, and when Georgia comes in and the outlying areas are showing the 64% bias that there can, you know, the 64-32 with the independent vote that's coming for Trump right now, that would mean Fulton County would have to go so overwhelmingly nuts the other way, or just a whole bunch of votes jump up at 2 a.m.
Weird. Yeah, you know,
That's never happened.
That's never happened.
That those three states, mark my words, and we're going to be live. Pat's announced outstanding opportunity here. Great event coming. You know, I think there's a lot of us that are going to be up late watching, and a lot of us are going to be, you know, looking around and what we're going to be seeing. And I think before we get to 11:30, I think this race is going to be decided, or literally almost decided.
I mean, Tom, we can only hope
beautiful.
to God, because the way that it's
Pennsylvania,
going,
North Carolina, Georgia.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia.
And Tom, so you're saying it'll be called by 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
I believe I'm going to go with 11:30. 11:30 Eastern Time. I believe the Dems are going to know that they're in deep, deep water. Now we're going to have to wait till 4 a.m. for the polls to close in, you know, East Coast, for the polls to close in Alaska. Not 4 a.m. It's like, I think it's 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. here. The polls will close in Alaska, but before you'll be able to actually call Alaska, but they're going to know they're in deep, deep water at 11:30.
Tom, so we're not doing that 6 day. We're not waiting for 6 days like how we did for 2020.
Well, we might be, but remember, you know, everybody's got to get out and vote and make it too big to rig.
And I tell people that all the guys. When's the last time to, like, if you haven't registered? That's why I think I hear it with the Democrats. I'm really hearing with the Republicans. Guys, go early. I did it yesterday, 2 days ago, online. Register. You have to freaking vote, and you nailed it, Tom. Make it too big to rig. Make the number. Because, by the way, if you hear margin of error, that means they're going to be like, well, hey, she freaking got the votes. I mean, look at, she's popular right now. Don't let them do that crap.
And the attitude thing. I was at my dad's birthday this weekend in Miami, and one of his friends, he's like, he's American, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to vote. I'm like, well, what do you mean you're not going to vote? What do you mean? He's like, oh, no, I have too many things going on.
Are you serious? Did you tell him, like, are you stupid?
Oh, I lost my freaking cool. I lost my cool real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, the most important election.
This
is
it.
This is it.
Yeah, I really think this is it. Kelly, what were you going to say?
You kind of already said it earlier. I thought I was very impressed by this debate because there were actually two adults speaking full sentences.
Yep.
And I was actually really impressed by Tim Walz. Like, yeah, he had a shaky start, but I think he spoke with, like, fire.
Yep.
He had coherent sentences. I thought he argued well with J.D. Vance. I think J.D. Vance won still because he acted as a gentleman. He challenged Tim Walz, but he also wasn't afraid to like compliment him and be like
Yes.
considerate and kind of his points of view.
Yeah.
So he kind of had that charm factor that Tim Walz didn't have. But I think it's so important that we covered this because so many people are like, I don't understand Trump's policies. I don't understand Kamala, anything she says because she just talks in a circle.
Yep.
So now we actually have something like coherent, something we can study, something we can latch onto to be like, okay, I'm definitely voting Republican. I'm definitely voting Democrat. And I think that's so important.
Is JD Vance babe? Like, is he attractive? Like, do you think girls are looking at JD Vance?
He
Like,
has
God,
nice-
he's a stud.
He has those Bradley Cooper
Yeah.
eyes, so that's something.
Yeah. I mean, his eyes were like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
His eyes
Did
stole
you
the
catch
show.
it, Brandon? Like, we're two heterosexual males. Did you catch yourself like looking at his eyes?
Oh
going,
yeah, I got lost in them. For a
I could
little
get
bit.
lost in them,
Yeah.
hopefully we don't lose the election, but I'll get lost in his eyes.
yeah.
Back to what Kelly was saying.
Yeah.
It's 100% right. It was such a pleasure just to watch them be.
Oh, this
you
is
know,
what a debate should be.
Yeah. No,
this
no,
is what
I-
we need to have.
I agree, but you know what though? When one side, and we saw it mildly here, but when you have one side telling the other side the questions, letting them know what they're gonna do, potentially having an earpiece in your ear, putting the lights in the guy's eyes, it's like, listen, all the things are stacked up against you. It's hard to have it, but I think that in that type, by the way, they didn't mute the mics, they let them talk. I say go old school. I want an audience. I want it to be wild because listen, if you can't handle that,
Yeah.
if you can't handle that debate, that type of shit, how are you gonna sit in a room with a leader of another country that's literally out to destroy you?
It's funny because they were saying like Tim Walz is not a good debater, whatever. And in the beginning I got nervous because he kept like pausing
nervous.
a lot.
Yeah, he was nervous.
But he was actually I didn't mind that he was taking notes. It was so earnest the way he was arguing for his points, and he looked at the camera and he was like very intentional and passionate about it. And I thought he did a great job. Like
did.
I think JD Vance won. But I think that kind of could have helped Kamala's case because at least there's somebody on the ticket that can make a full sentence.
Yeah, thank God.
I watch a lot more wrestling than I watch debates.
Yeah.
I need to come clean.
Really?
Is there a tag team debate like you can have you have both the
That'd be
president
nice.
and
Oh,
the vice
that'd be- I would
president
watch that.
on each side? That'd be really nice.
I would definitely watch a tag team.
That'd be cool.
Debate. And then one of the things that I kind of gets me is like somebody like a Tim Walz who they're the Christians. He's quoting scripture. He quoted Matthew, which is my favorite part of the Bible. Matthew's story was amazing. The tax collector that turned into who he turned into. But how can you be such a self-proclaimed loving Christian and then like you said, Tom, with the abortion, 9 month, this and that, it's such a hypocritical type move. Like, and again, Brandon, I know we get it. The abortion debate is.
No. But
What?
I won't concede to that because there's a moral argument to that. Okay.
Okay.
My taxes, the taxes I pay, if they're spent on an abortion, I'm complicit to that abortion. Like if they legalize abortion here in Florida, like to not pay for abortions, I will move to the next state because as women have the right to move to another state that is more comprehensive with abortion, I don't want to be complicit. I don't want to be part.
Paying for.
I don't want to be
and it's just-
paying for sin. You
You're
know what
already
I
paying
mean?
for sin, though. What's
What
the
I mean?
military-industrial complex? You're funding that. We're all funding that.
What I mean, we're all funding that.
We're all funding the military-industrial complex. The $900
Well,
billion
I
a year
do
that we
think
spend on military equipment.
we talked about it the other night. I do think about it that every time one of those missiles goes and kills kids somewhere, I don't know.
It's on
where-
all of us.
It's on all of us. You know,
Oh, no,
that's why I'm very against war too.
Oh yeah, me too. But I mean, in that
Unnecessary war.
sense, all of our taxes, all of our stuff is going towards the war machine. But I mean, like in the sense of the abortion, it's like I just don't like people that are these self-proclaimed Christians, and doing their thing. And again, I love how everybody's like, "Well, you don't know," and stay out of the body, and I'm like, listen, if you're just having an abortion just to have an abortion. And I've seen a lot of these videos of the girls. What bothers me is we don't talk about the girls that are just getting to the abortion. Like, why don't we talk about, hey, stop hooking up. Guys, wear freaking condoms. That conversation you never hear, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the abortion debate, you never hear, hey, guys, just FYI,
Yeah.
put on a condom. Hey, fellas, put on a condom. Hey, ladies, don't sleep around with guys that you don't want to have a family with. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that? Have you ever heard that debate?
Leave space for Jesus.
Yeah.
You know? That's what you gotta do.
The best two positions on abortion I've heard are both from Reagan and Clinton. So Reagan said there should be 3 exceptions: rape, incest, and life of the mother. Then Clinton said abortions should be rare, safe, and legal. So I agree with both of those. You know, it's a terrible thing. It's horrible when it happens. And sometimes circumstances make it necessary, but you know, it should be rare, safe,
It's
and
called
legal.
family planning.
Yeah, but sometimes
Plan your
sometimes there's
family.
weird, out of the ordinary things that make it necessary. So it's reckless to
But
say
the
just it
thing
could
is,
never
Brandon,
happen.
the thing is,
Disagree.
Brandon, I don't buy that because that's how they build the argument. Like you see how fired up he got when he called him like pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Because the left, they've been crafting this pro-choice BS, and then they take all these exceptional cases. That's why he went over 3 cases that are very exceptional, and one of them was fake, to make people buy into this thing. You know, like obviously every rule. You know, for every rule, you need to have an exception. And they just talk exceptions every time they bring out the abortion issue. And you know what I'm
But
scared
you're going to
of?
create a worse situation, though, if you say just never, because then that creates a black market. So, like, you know, like to go hardcore and say never is as hardcore as saying it's okay after 9 months.
I don't know. I don't know where to put the limit.
Those two things are equal, though.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.